Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. I decided about a half an hour ago I was going to do a live tonight. Typically we do one on Monday, but I was going to be doing one tomorrow and Thursday. Tuesday and Wednesday for Abby and Libby. Of course, it's their 7 year coming up. Hey Mustang, how are you? And then just as I was almost the live was about to begin, I totally forgot to set up the studio in there. So just give me 2 seconds here to do that. Totally forgot. Sometimes I get so rushed and then I forget to do this part sometimes. So Rachel Morin, done. I won't put any. Slow mode on. I'll just customize live chat subscribers. Won't put any slow mode on. Give me 1 sec still. Rachel. Okay. Almost there, almost back, guys. Good news though. Like I'm so happy because I was just talking about this so many times. Like, why isn't there a sketch? Like we just literally did a live the other day, a few days ago, and it's like, come on, like where's the sketch? And I don't know, but prayers must have been heard or something because obviously they would have been. I was hoping that they would be working on a sketch, of course. So it's really great to see that one has finally come out, and hopefully this will lead to new leads. Almost done here. Hi, Diana. How are you? And I don't know if anyone got a notification to this, to be honest with you, because I've already put out a few videos in that today already. So if you didn't get a notification, well, then that would be why. So for anyone, I mean, there's not too many people in here right now. So chances are on there. Hey, yo. Hey, Charmaine. So, Charmaine said I wasn't going to do a live. And then it was more like an hour ago. I decided, yeah, I'm going to go hop in the shower, feel alive and awake and whatever. Um, because I was doing a bunch of stuff and putting out videos earlier. And I was making my husband and that dinner and spaghetti and meatballs and, garlic bread. I don't even want to tell you. It was really great, but I don't even want to tell you what I did. But anyways, okay. So the Rachel Morin case. So like I said, it's really great that I think I seen Copper Horse share this, and instantly I saw it. And I was like, sweet, about time on this. So I in turn just kind of made the sketches bigger, instead of the one being the little guy with like the guy with the red hat one. Well, same sketch, but or sketch, but with the hat on in a sense. And I wanted to make it show the same size, so it wasn't like you had one little dude picture and then whatever. So, anyways, I wanted to turn it into a bigger picture. So yeah, so finally, at least we get a look at what this sketch. Remember, a sketch is not a picture, right, guys? Doing good. Had a good weekend, and just did a bunch of stuff, to be honest, and that with my husband. Went and got him a new pair of boots, hiker work boots and stuff like that. Um, Hallie Hansen ones, which wasn't too bad. Said that they were like 189.90, and then at the tail they were like 140, 150. Yeah. And they were pretty cool. So he says that his foot's feeling better today because my husband's been in so much pain with his foot. But anyways, so did that. Got a few groceries, whatever. And yeah, anyways, I had a busy day, busy weekend, and I hope you guys had a good weekend yourselves out there. And yeah, no notification. Yeah, again, I've already put out enough videos. I really wish YouTube would change that whole three notification stuff. Okay, so basically, we'll just quickly look over a few things here. Okay, so this is the notification that came out today. I put out a video earlier, and it said that this week, so February 5th of 2024, marked the 6 months since Rachel Morin was needlessly and tragically killed while on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air. Okay, and of course, this is the Ma and Pa Trail right here that Rachel Morin, people always seen her all the time running. It was a typical routine for her. Um, so and then the sheriff's spotlight with never before released details, which yes, there's definitely some in there, especially about the house in LA. So we'll listen to a little bit of that. Over the last 6 months, detectives conducted more than 100 interviews and followed up on more than 1,000 tips. Their investigation has led them to 7 different states with 10 federal, state, and local agencies assisting. Thousands of bilingual flyers have been distributed in Maryland and California. And again, they don't know where he is from. Is he from California? Is he from Maryland? Is he from neither of those states? The investigation has not slowed or stalled. Just this week, we were able to finalize the suspect sketch. Listen to Captain Lane explain how the sketch was developed, and then please take a look and share the sketch. Okay, and that's hopefully everyone that comes across it will do that to your social media. I did make this wanted poster here. I guess I'll put that. I'll go do that right now, actually. Um, let's see here. I'll quickly go over to the community page. And I'll quickly upload that there in case. Let me just go do that quickly while I'm doing this before I forget. I've had a habit of forgetting. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the community page in case you want to take that one there and share it to your social media. So just did that. So again, the reward is $35,000 for information leading up into the case there. Now it says we believe let's see here. We believe there are still people who can provide information. Detectives believe that the killer may have been in the area 4 days before the crime. While he was here, where did he stay? Who did he speak to, and where did he work? And if you have a tip, of course, put it into the RMT IPS RM tips at hartfordsheriff.org. Again, the reward stands at $35,000. As you listen to the podcast and view the sketch, please keep Rachel's families in your thoughts, and we'll say prayers. As Captain Lane offers, remember Rachel, remember the area she was in. If anyone remembers anything moving forward, those small details can be big details that break open the case. And then basically, thank you for your support and your cooperation as they strive to find answers. Okay, so again, that was just put together like that just to show you guys. And then, so don't forget, so the Hartford County Sheriff's Office is requesting the assistance in identifying the below depicted individual in relation to the homicide of Rachel Hannah Morin, which occurred on August 5th of 2023. Rachel was, of course, her life was taken while walking on the Ma and Pa Trail in Bel Air, Hartford, County, Maryland. So the unknown is described as being 5'9", approximately 160 pounds, approximately 20 to 30 years of age, dark hair, muscular build, and believed to be Hispanic descent. So again, that's just that information really to go with the suspect sketch now. Now, of course, same thing here. Why is that there? I don't know. But anyways, so this is the tunnels right here. And that's thanks to JLR, you guys, that had, of course, gone to that area. And he had spoken with the guy whose stepdaughter, I think it was the stepdaughter, and the friend had each gone down a tunnel. And Rachel Morin, I'm not even sure still to this date if it was the left or the right. At the time, JLR didn't know either, but I'm sure he does now. Either or. But this is the house here as well in Los Angeles. Okay, so this is where they found a hat, and the hat is probably very similar to this hat, if it's not the correct hat whatsoever, because they did get DNA off of a hat and a water bottle. And that's hence probably why they did the sketch without the hat, of course, to have a look. And then with the hat, which is probably it's probably the exact similar hat that was found in the house that they found DNA. And then, of course, they were able to attach it to Rachel. Hi, Gail Hurd. Hi, Charles. How are you? Anyways, good to see you guys. I know there's not very many people watching. I know that other people are live too. Don't really care. Just thought I, you know what? Come on. We'll listen to a little bit of this because this case is very important. And that's why it's very important to please go share whichever the pictures, however you want to do it. Go over to the community page, grab that wanted poster. Because obviously we don't know, we don't even know how many acts that this guy is actually done. Um, it's kind of like when we listen to that some of that tape in a moment. You know, you're going to hear that had it not been for so many people in the house, the same thing probably would have happened in that house to what happened to Rachel Morin. So who knows what was done between March when he committed the first home invasion act versus Rachel Morin, of course, being killed August 5th of 2023, and if he has done anything again. So bottom line is this sick, twisted individual needs to get off the street. And as, of course, being true crime, what do we call them? Aficionados. It's our job, of course, to make sure that we put this information out there so that the sooner people see it, the faster, hopefully, that somebody will actually go, oh, that looks like my friend. That looks, hopefully. Makes sense that the hat he left is similar to the sketch. Yeah. Yeah, I would think so, Um, I would think that they would put on a hat that was very similar to that one that he had on for sure. So, if so, he's obviously into sports of some sort. Um, okay, so I'm gonna go over to that. Oh, hi, hello. A little too close for my comfort. Really don't like being this close to you guys. It's uncomfortable. But we're gonna go over here and over here. Yeah, that was when it's like up close like that. It's just like even for me, it's like whoa, no can do Pikachu. Um, okay, so we're not going to listen to the full thing because the full thing's 40 minutes, but we're going to listen to some definitely important parts of this video, especially things from the home, the LA home. Um, this one was a lot more detailed about that LA home and what had happened and why we didn't see him coming in and stuff like that. I know, I know, Lacey. I wonder the same thing. I mean, it seems like it's been quite a while. Who knows what their reasons are? I'm sure there was some reasons behind it. Sometimes I think it. Like I don't know, but like with Delphi, a sketch is not a photo. Do 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 do, and maybe they didn't want to jump the gun too fast in hoping that there would be a lead, and then that they were working on the sketch, and then when they felt it was time to put the sketch out because no new leads are coming in and stuff like that. Because again, a sketch, you know how it goes. Everyone, most people need binoculars. Like I know to me, sometimes my husband always calls me, I think he calls me ethnically challenged or something like that. Because sometimes I think everyone looks the same. Not really, but close. Sometimes I have no idea. I mean, even when I look at photos, I'm like, does that person look like that type of thing? Anyways, so can you imagine all the people that are going to be like, that looks like just like that guy, and a lot of them are going to look absolutely not like the guy. But anyways, okay, so let's listen to this a bit and let's see, where do I want to start off here? I had it on.
And what moves happened in the days following. In processing the scene, we recovered genetic material that we were able to use uh, through the Maryland State Police Crime Lab to attempt to identify the suspect. That genetic material ultimately was entered into a system called CODIS, which is a national DNA database. CODIS contains not only known offenders, but it also contains DNA samples from other unsolved crimes with unknown suspects. In this case, CODIS was a huge break for us. And what we were able to do with that database was link this crime to another unsolved crime in the state of California, in Los Angeles specifically, which was a home invasion, is how I would describe it right now. And in that instance, that suspect left behind a hat, and that hat was collected by the Los Angeles Police Department, and DNA was located on that hat, and that DNA was entered into CODIS. When we entered our sample in from our crime scene, those two matched. So that allowed us ultimately to be able to recover video evidence that showed us who our suspect was, which we hadn't seen, and allowed us to link two crimes that occurred on opposite sides of the country.
And I do believe that's another specific piece of information that we've kind of not been, that we have not released previously, as far as it being a hat that we did we release that before? That we
We have
Okay,
publicly
said it
commented
was a
on
hat.
that. Yes,
Okay, and I knew that the public knew that we had recovered DNA, or I should say, Los Angeles Police Department recovered DNA that matched to our crime scene here, but I wasn't sure that they what the um, tool was, or what the uh, item was that was left behind by the suspect. So going to that case, and it was in March, so it was basically 6 months earlier than Rachel's case, or 5 months earlier. The case in LA, and caused me to think, and this is a question I've got a lot. What brought the suspect here? And I've been clear that we really have no information to say that the suspect lives there and came here, or that the suspect, very well, the suspect could live out here and have traveled out there in March. We know he was there in March. We know he was here in August. We don't know where he is in between.
that's correct, sir. We know that through the course of the investigation, which is in a unique situation when we have two violent attacks that happen on opposite sides of the country within a 6 month period, we're of course interested about what other crimes could have occurred throughout the country, throughout the state of California, state of Maryland, and everywhere in between. We have nothing right now that would indicate yet that there's been other crimes this individual perpetrated in between. However, he could be, as you said, sir, a resident of the state of Maryland who went to California, or a resident of the state of California who came here, or he could be a resident of another state and just traveled in between those two. Until we locate him, we really won't know.
Okay, and I know we've also, that case out there. I get that. Can you tell us more about what happened in Los Angeles? And I know that is not our investigation, and we certainly cannot speak on behalf of the Los Angeles Police Department. But as you said earlier, that's an active investigation by that police department. So we've been, I guess, limited in what we are going to say, or should say, since another police department has a serious crime that they are also investigating. But what can you share? Obviously, the video came from there. What else can you share about that scene out there?
I think I can share the fact that yes, this case is actively investigated by the Los Angeles Police Department, who did initially recover that hat, which was an excellent find, and enabled us to be able to link these two crimes together. That crime that occurred there was also a violent attack. There's nothing that we know right now that would point us to the belief that it was anything other than a random attack. There were multiple people within that home who were injured, and there were minor children who were injured as well in that attack. I think that case, along with this case, highlight how dangerous this individual is, and how important it is to locate him for public safety.
To be clear, the DNA that was collected from the crime scene in LA uh, was that of an unnamed, as of yet unnamed suspect.
That's correct, sir. The CODIS database does contain known offenders. I'm sure a lot of people are aware that people convicted of certain qualifying crimes provide a DNA sample that's entered into CODIS. But CODIS contains also standards from unknown crime scenes, and this is an instance where we collected DNA, or the Los Angeles Police Department collected DNA with an unknown suspect. But there's value to that, whether the suspect is known or not, because it allows us to link crimes together, as we did in this situation.
Okay. So go on a little bit with what we can discuss from that crime scene in Los Angeles.
Um,
Is there more that we can speak about?
I think we could say that I think people who have seen the video we released, which is obviously from Los Angeles. This individual approached a residence in the city of Los Angeles, and um, entered that residence. He didn't live there. He was not known to the residents. And after entering the home, I don't want to get into a whole lot of details other than to say that he violently and physically attacked multiple people, to include a child, that were hurt during that incident. And that again, I think it just goes to the dangerousness and the need for us to be able to track this person down before he harms someone else.
Sure, and this is something else I get a lot of questions about and have spoken about, the escalation from what happened there in March. Again, we don't know whether he's there, where he might lay his head at night, but we do know from March till August, he certainly escalated in violence and moving from assault, even serious, but to taking a life. The kind of the other questions I get related to Los Angeles and the cameras themselves are kind of twofold, and maybe I'll throw them both out there and see what you say. Because one is we have the video footage of the Ring doorbell camera of him departing, and the manner in which he departs, which does not seem in most people's views to be the way that someone found in your home illegally assaulting people would be exiting a residence. And if we have him going out, why don't we have him coming in? And when I say we, it's not. It's again, that's the Los Angeles crime scene.
Yes, sir. The reason you can't see him entering the home is because the doorbell camera, obviously, like we all have these doorbell cameras now in modern society, are only placed on generally the area of the front door. Without going into how this gentleman entered the home or the suspect entered the home, he did not enter through the front door and wouldn't have been captured by the doorbell camera. Um, as far as the manner in which he exited the house, we've received comments through tip lines about that too. And I think we all have to take a step back sometimes and realize that this person entered a home. He, in the middle of the night, violently attacked a family, and that family reacted. They were scared. There was a lot of yelling going around at the time, and they forced him from the home. I think people oftentimes believe that this family should have held this person there, or they should have, in some way tried to stop him. And I think that's not always possible, and that the this attack was stopped by a member of that family, who I think um, acted in the best interest of everyone there and did everything that he could do to get that person out of the home. And ultimately, I think, although he did escalate his crime, as we were just saying, between here in Maryland and in California, I think had that crime not been interrupted in California, it most likely would have ended the exact same way
That-
our crime ended here.
That's a very good point. And I agree with that from what I know of the case. Talk to me about the arm, the infamous arm, because that's something that so many of our social media followers have commented on. The arm in the video.
The arm in the video is the suspect when he's in the home. Winds up assaulting two family members who were unable to defend themselves. A third family member, who is a younger person, enters that room and manages to surprise the suspect and begin to force him out of the home. As the suspect flees the home, this individual, who is frightened and is scared and is a younger person and doesn't understand why someone's in his home attacking his family members, the suspect, other people in the home begin to wake up. And he realizes now that there's multiple people in the home. They're yelling at him. He's trying to just exit the home. So as soon as he leaves the door, that younger person who actually interrupted the crime scene slams the door shut and locks it, and then immediately calls the police. So again, we've heard this a lot too, and I understand people are trying to help, but it's it's a difficult situation that that young man went through, and I think he did everything he could to try to protect his family, and he just wanted the suspect out of his home. And then as soon as he left, locked the door and called the police for assistance.
So obviously, that's how we tie to Los Angeles and to the video that we were able to release. And again, we had a press conference releasing that video as soon as it came into our
Thank you,
possession,
Dale.
to make sure that the
Scared me
public
because that
knew
volume was on
what to be on the
100%.
lookout for, and in hopes of identifying
And I was
this
on a different page.
individual. And here we are 6 months in, and we still haven't been able to get a name. And I believe somebody out there is going to see that video and recognize that person, and we just need to make sure it stays in the public eye to the best we can. But how many tips related to this case would you say you and your investigators have
Pure
followed
Prof
up on? And I
wannabe
get the
bought
question,
that
has this turned to a cold case
membership,
at
by
this
the
point?
way.
This case absolutely is not turned into a cold case, sir. It's being actively investigated every day. We were actually just today conducting interviews in this case. We've received well over 1,000 tips, and every one of those tips is followed up on to ensure that nothing's missed. Then they've come in from all across the country.
And where do you follow these tips? As far as, can you outline a few of the tips that or the types of tips that you've received?
Sure, we'll receive tips from people who, from the very generic, from people who tell us that I was in a grocery store, or I was at some other local business, and I believe I saw somebody who matches the description. People who call us to tell us that they live in a different state, but they believe this individual resides in their community, whether it be an apartment community or whether it be a residential home. People who tell us that they have family members who they believe could have been involved and where those people live. And really, it runs the gamut of people who I think, see this story, realize how tragic it is that Rachel, a single mother, lost her life, and they want to reach out and try to help. And it's been great. And every one of those tips, we'll take every tip we can, and we try to run them down to the ground. And I agree with you, sir, that
Thank you
we
again,
know through the
Gail.
course
Let's
of the
see who got
investigation,
that
this
one.
individual was here in Hartford County, most likely for a couple of weeks prior, several weeks prior to this happening. And I agree that there are people here in our community who know who he is.
Prof. Kate
He
got that
resided with
membership.
somebody when he was here.
Thanks, Gail.
He he ate at local stores. He had a home, and there are people who know who he is. And what we really need is those people to realize that this is a dangerous individual, and they really need to step up for the community and identify who he is.
And this would probably be a good time to point out that the reward on giving us that piece of information currently stands at $35,000 to give us information that identifies that subject and helps us make an arrest in this case.
Yes, sir. That's true.
And you did speak about the family, and I know from speaking to you, from speaking to the major, and even seeing meeting with the family members before a canvas that some of your people did back right before Christmas.
Yes, sir.
That we've been working with the family. Obviously, as you said, we have Rachel, the mother of five, right?
Mhm.
A young mom, a sister, a daughter. This has really impacted very close family. And then it's hit our community because we live in a very safe place, so it's hit our community as well. But how are we working with the family on uh, trying to solve this case?
We speak with Rachel's family frequently, and I would agree with you, sir, that Rachel was a mother. She was a daughter. She was a friend to many people. She was a part of this community. She was raised here. She lived here her entire life, and it was devastating to her family. Her children don't have a mother now. She has children under the age of 18 now. She has a child who unfortunately is disabled, that now has to cope with not only a disability but the loss of their mother at a young age. Her Rachel's mother is obviously devastated at the loss of her daughter. Her oldest daughter, who's turned 18, was 18 at the time of this, now has to try to navigate the beginning part of her adult life without a mother. So it affected everybody in Rachel's life, and she had a wide circle of friends. And of course, all of them are affected. And to your point, sir, too, we do live in a safe community, and it definitely upsets everybody, and it takes a little bit of that sense of safety away when something like this happens.
And people ask about that all the time, the hiking trail. And we were just asked today, in fact, on an interview, are there cameras on the trail? And particularly, somebody saw what they believed is a camera in the pedestrian tunnel going underneath Route 24. To my knowledge, I know that the county's working to put cameras along the trail because of Rachel's case, but not in it. There were not cameras there, and I don't believe there's one in the tunnel.
No, sir. There's no tunnels on the trail itself. I mean, so tunnels.
No
Excuse me.
cameras.
There's no cameras on the tunnel itself, on the trail itself, and the cameras in the surrounding area. That we captured the arrival of Rachel into the parking lot. We know where she was beforehand, shopping at a local Target store. We have video of that. We certainly used video in this case to be able to track Rachel's movements in the time leading up to this and to her arrival at the trail. Unfortunately, after Rachel arrives and parks her car at the parking lot at the trailhead, there's no more video evidence after that.
And that might seem, I don't know, outlandish in some parts of our country, but I have to say, my backyard hits a portion of this trail, and we've lived there for more than 20 years, 22, 23. My daughters were raised going out there to be able to walk on the trail, my wife, me. And it's so far outside the norm. I don't think many communities can understand just what kind of feeling of safety there was prior to this case. Obviously, this woke everybody up a little bit that as law enforcement will preach, it can happen here, and the worst things can happen here. And we saw that again in this case, sadly. We talked about a little bit about working with the family, and how about other agencies? Obviously, this is a big case, went from one side of the country to the other. How about other partners?
Yes, sir. We've used multiple parts in this case, and we still do on a daily basis. The Maryland State Police Crime Lab has been an integral partner on this and has helped us with the initial genetic links we made. But as we continue moving forward with the case, has helped us with further processing of evidence. We've used federal partners to help us reach out across the country to different places to conduct interviews, to give us assistance again with evidence processing and directions to take the case. We've used other local departments across the country when we needed to be able to conduct interviews and be able to understand where potential suspects reside and crimes they may have committed in the past. We've used laboratories from multiple states through the country to help so they can assist us try to track the suspect as well. So we've received a tremendous amount of support from agencies throughout the country.
Now, how has the community responded to your efforts during the canvases? What's the response that the detectives are seeing?
The response has been great from the community. They've always been supportive of the sheriff's office my entire time working here, and they're continuing to be supportive of the sheriff's office today. Um, I think the community has told us, the people we've spoken to, exactly what they saw. The people we've spoke to. I think if there's one thing that if I could, hopefully people would understand is that we know the suspect, and I touched on this before, was here in Harford County prior to this incident. He didn't arrive that day and leave that day. He was here beforehand. And when he was here, just like all of us in our daily lives, we interact with people around us in businesses, we interact with people in restaurants, we reside somewhere, we have neighbors. There are people who live in this community or who were in this community at the time of the event that certainly would have interacted and seen the suspect. And those are the people that we need to come forward and tell us who this person is and where he is now.
And one thing, I'm just kind of looking through my notes. I to kind of frame my thoughts, but jumping back, and it's a DNA answer, obviously. But we get the question we put out there. Obviously, this person's of Hispanic. Our suspect from the video is of Hispanic descent. What makes us confident enough to say that?
Uh, Through the course of the investigation, we obviously, like I said, we processed DNA and genetic material, and that, along with video evidence, allows us to conclusively say that this person has a Hispanic origin.
So one of the things we got a whole lot on our social media was related to the DNA, and it was, if you have the DNA, how do you not have the name? And people weren't able to put that together. So with that, can you kind of explain why we don't have a name just because of a DNA match, and then how confident you are or we are in the DNA match we have?
So we are highly confident that the DNA that we recovered from the crime scene points conclusively to our suspect. However, the way DNA works is it is able at this stage to connect us through the CODIS database we spoke about to another unknown crime. There is no DNA database that would allow me to be able to plug that in there and have it just give me a name. That's not how it works. The only people um, that are named in a CODIS database, people have committed a qualifying crime. So if you haven't been arrested and committed one of these crimes and been to prison, then your name is not in a database. There is no massive database with everyone's DNA. That's not how it works. But what it does allow us to do is to link these two crimes. And when we do locate our suspect, which we will, it will be able to conclusively link him to the crime scene.
Right. And then again, kind of related to that, one of the questions I get, because the DNA has told us of Hispanic descent, is do we believe that the suspect in this case is in the country illegally? We know that the border is a big issue in our country right now. My answer to that is we don't know, and we don't want to rule that out, nor do we want to say that's the way it is. It's just another possibility, because we said he could be laying his head anywhere from Los Angeles to here, or really anywhere in the world. So we don't know. So I mean, do you have any thoughts on that response?
It definitely does complicate things. You're correct, sir, that he could be a U.S. citizen from California or a U.S. citizen from any other state. Obviously, there's been an influx of people from certain parts of the world here in the United States, and there's people who move through our southern border a little more freely, and that does complicate things, and it allows people to be able to uh, move, and it makes it difficult to be able to track people through traditional means. It just adds another a layer of complication.
And again, yeah, one of the to focus on that as being a fact when we don't know it would be wrong, and to focus to ignore that without knowing that's not the case would be wrong. So we haven't been able to put it either way. So that's an open-ended question, I guess, if you will. The big question I get all the time is, why not a sketch? You have the video. You addressed, we have the video of him leaving because he didn't come in that door. Um, where are we with some sort of sketch or something?
So we began the investigation and made this link. One of the first things we would do in any case is try to locate witnesses. One of those witnesses that we did locate in this case was a victim of that California assault. Um, Sketches are absolutely a phenomenal investigative tool. However, they are one person's impression of what someone looks like. All of us view people differently, and it can change the way that sketch looks. We do have a sketch that we're planning on releasing soon. That this sketch was not one person's interpretation of what our suspect looks like, but multiple people's impression. Both victims from California, witnesses here in Harford County, and then also uh, the artists using the video as part of the rendering as well. So being able to put all those three things together, we believe that we have a sketch now that is the closest rendition we're going to be able to have, and we want the public to be able to see that as well.
And it may actually be released ahead of this podcast, depending on timing, if depending on how it all works out.
Yes, sir.
So as far as the sketch goes, explain how important it is to try to get it as close as possible to the actual suspect and what efforts you took to make sure it's just not another Hispanic male being sought.
So it's important to get this sketch as close as we can, because the one thing as an investigator I don't want to do, I don't want someone to look at this sketch and think, well, I'm not going to call the sheriff's office and tell them that I think I know who the suspect is because he doesn't look enough like this sketch. So we want to make sure that we make this sketch as close as we can get it to the what the suspect looks like, so that we can make sure people are confident when they're calling us, and people understand what the suspect looks like. So, in order to get the best quality we could, we utilized witnesses in California who were assaulted by the suspects. We used um, witnesses here in Harford County. And then we also used one artist to combine all to interview each one of these people, and then that same artist to look at our video and be able to try to put all of that together to give us the closest that we could possibly get to what the suspect looks like. And then after that, we took that sketch and we talked to other witnesses who didn't maybe see the person as well and weren't confident in making a sketch, but did see the person, and asked them, "Does this sketch look like the suspect that you saw?" So that we were sure that we had as large a group of possible who we knew saw this person look at this sketch and say, "Yes, this is similar to what the person I saw looks like."
We definitely don't want to be out getting calls or interviewing a lot of folks that just because they're Hispanic. So a lot of effort was taken, and one of the things that I did hear, and I think it's important, is that we do have witnesses here in Harford County.
We do, sir. We've interviewed many witnesses here in Harford County. As I mentioned, Rachel ran the trail frequently, daily, and a lot of those people came forward and told us just when they saw Rachel. We had other people come forward and tell us that, we saw the video and that they felt like they saw someone who looked very similar to the video on the trail in the weeks leading up to Rachel's death. And the volume of people that we've spoken to who told us that they saw someone on the trail who looks similar to our suspect in the week leading up to the crime, makes me believe, as I said earlier, that this individual was here in our county for weeks prior to this event.
So those witnesses have linked this particular individual that they personally saw to that trail and around the same time that Rachel was killed.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And I do think it's important to note we are 1 year out nearly from what happened in Los Angeles and 6 months out from Rachel's homicide here. So, we are this is what that person looked like 6 months ago, a year ago,
Yes, sir.
which was consistent between the two because we've had people from here and there both kind of say this is a more accurate rendition. So, or rendering, I guess, is more appropriate. So, again, there's been some time. So, hair grows out, or in my case, falls out. People can change their look. So we're asking people to, when they see both the video and the images, to be mindful of this is now 6 months.
6 month anniversary. And when
Right.
we release these sketches, one of the things that the public will see is there's two sketches. One of these sketches is this person, his facial features only, and the other one shows the individual wearing a hat, a red baseball style cap. That cap, that hat is something that we know from interviewing different witnesses is something that the suspect has worn in the past. So again, to your point, sir, people can change the way they appear through gaining weight, losing hair, wearing hats and sunglasses and things like that.
And so with all of this we've discussed so far, again, 6 months in, where do we stand today?
Today, we stand that still every day we're working this investigation. We're speaking to witnesses. We're still working with allied agencies and partners federally on the federal side and on the state side. We're interviewing witnesses as late as this morning. We were speaking to somebody. We're using every available tool that we have to try to find this individual.
And I know, again, many years of doing this, there are cases that stick with all of us. How are your investigators doing with the personal aspect? We can't even imagine being in Rachel's family's shoes. Again, back to the children losing their mom, just the devastation to this family. Not trying to compare it in scope in any way imaginable to that, but obviously with a police officer, this kind of case sticks with you. How are your people doing with that?
I think they're motivated. I think they look at a crime like this and the tragedy that it caused and the violence that was involved both here in California and in Maryland. And they're motivated. They want to find this person and they want to take them off the streets so that no one else is injured. And they want to bring justice to Rachel and to her family. So they're working hard and they're motivated every day. And I have confidence that they're going to find this individual.
And I tell you, we all pray for that outcome for sure. And again, I'll let you offer any thoughts or the major on our Harford County community. Again, we've been through some over the last 10 years or so, been through some devastating events. This case is up there, and the things that have impacted our community. What kind of words do you think about sharing in reference to our Harford County community?
Well, I mean, I would start by saying to the community as a whole that I appreciate everything they've done so far. We've received hundreds and hundreds of tips directly from the community here. They're always willing to speak to us. We've done multiple canvases through the community, and everyone always is willing to come out and speak to us to tell us what they saw to try to help us. I would just ask that they continue to do that, to try to remember Rachel, remember the area that she was in, to if anybody remembers anything moving forward that they think it's important or not. If it's a small detail, those small details can be the details that break the case open. So I'd ask them to do that. And anybody who hasn't reached out to us, who saw anything that day, who is aware of a person who was in the area then and isn't here now, if they've seen the video and they have a basic idea what this person looks like, or when they look at our sketch, do they know that person here? Is he here now? Did he leave? Did you see this person because you worked with him? Any information that they can provide would be great.
The and just one thing to add is the local business community has moved mountains to help investigators and during the investigation, and not only the local business community but the national business community, and some offerings from big companies in the surveillance world that have really stepped forward to give.
Okay, we'll leave it there. And um, I'll go back over to this for a second. So, how many of you guys think that are in chat? How many of you guys think that this dude is crossed the border over in Mexico or something like that? Okay, and let's put up his face there, um, nice and big. And thank you guys, and thank you, Gail Hurd, for those 2 memberships. If I get 2 more memberships, you guys, then I can make another emoji. I was looking at that, so now it's like 2 more. If anyone doesn't want to gift a membership, I need 2 more so I can make an emoji. Okay, that's just my personal fun right there. But thanks, Gail. And yeah, Mustang, Professor Kate, and then Professor Pug Wannabe. Each got those gifted memberships by Gail Hurd. Let's see here. Maybe get out of Canada. Come on now. Let's we don't need another Danilo Cavalcante there, where he was thinking about coming over to Canada. No, thank you. um, I think he could wreak so much havoc at the LA house because likely inhabitants were women and children. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, Diana. Sweet. Okay. That's one more closer to an emoji. Who got that one? Lisa. Lisa Branham. Lisa, Diana just gifted you a membership. Thank you so much. So now you can use any emojis that are out there, of course. And we don't have slow mode on tonight, but if there was, it also takes away when you have slow mode as well. So that's always a nice benefit. And of course, any members that are members, they can always request. There you go. And so, yeah, so don't forget that too, that anyone that does have a membership can request to come into the It's a Crime and Shame Facebook private page as well. So in case I haven't really talked about that too much on there. I don't spend a lot of time in it myself besides posting and stuff like that. But if you guys all want to have your conversations in there and discuss whatever, feel free. But yeah, there you go. Anyways, thank you, Diana S, for that. He wasn't exactly running. Please hit the like if you could. Yeah, that would be nice too. Of course, it's very important, this case, right? We just did a live on it the other day because a lot of it's been pretty quiet, and so wanted to do a live. So I'm so pleased to see that this new information has come out, and that this is a nice computer generated image right here. So hopefully this will lead to some more, to some people that not just saw the side of that face because that was so hard. And then they explained, in this as well, why they didn't have him coming into the house, saying that he didn't come into that house in Los Angeles, from the front door. And so we'll look at that in just a second again on a Google Earth. Somebody was watching I think so. Yeah, I was like, where's the sketch? Well, what we really want too is like that familial DNA, and trace it back to hopefully a family member that has done it or is, somewhere in that system. But that takes, I think, a lot longer, I think. Based on what Ali disclosed about LA, it leads to so many more questions. Why that house? Did he know an entire family would be inside? Exactly, which they kind of said that he didn't because, in that video that or the audio really, that we just listened to, they basically said, like, you must not have known that there was that many individuals inside that house, or what would have happened in that house would probably be the same outcome that happened to Rachel Morin. So in saying that, that family is very lucky that, yes, there was some people hurt, but they're all alive. So, and I'm amazed too that he doesn't have tattoos. I'm amazed too that there's, like, nowadays, a lot of people, have tattoos or something on their body nowadays. I'm amazed that there was no tattoo as well, which really sucks because if there was a tattoo, dude, you'd be snapped up so fast, I'm sure. Well, as long as your friends or family would out you, or somebody that knew you. When there's a reward at stake, and I'm thinking, hopefully with this information and with the reward, that somebody is going to say something. Apparently he knew there was a camera at the doorbell at the front door. Did he scope out his target? Right. Likely could catch a name. Yeah. So, at first I had it in my head that this dude was maybe invited by an individual into the home, and then he got a little bit maybe promiscuous or something like that. And then it was like, dude, get the hell out of here thing. but it doesn't seem that way. So I want to go over quickly to, let's just go over to Google Earth. So I'm thinking, so this is the home right here. Okay. And this home is on like 78th and 600 East. So now there's this window here. So it wouldn't shock me then if he came in through a lower window on this side. Because if we look at the home again, come on, scroll on over. If we look at the home again, now let's just go a little bit further. Okay. Okay. So this is the home. Now this is 565. This is like 565 and a half. So this is like a duplex place. This is where it happened here. So, so if we exit Street View, I don't know how good of a thing it's going to give us here. Okay. So we can kind of see, oops. So we can kind of see that down here is like a couple of windows. Remember, this is a part of a duplex here type of home. Now, I don't know if other family members lived in this part and some lived in this part or not. Either way, it's like a duplex home. So it would seem like he would have come in through one of these windows over here. Whoops. Get over there. Come on now. Let's get over there. Let's go back. Where did it go? Where's my little pinpoint? Come on. Oh, didn't take me. Oh, my Google Earth is being a pain. Okay, fine. Okay, so again, it's right here. Let's go back down to the ground if we can. Right here. Okay. So again, this is where the Ring doorbell cam was. And let's see here. Why didn't he exit that home face first, running for his life? Looks like he politely was leaving. A pleasant visit. I mean, that was a strange exit, right? Because he left with his top off, his shoes in his hand, and the young boy closing the door in there. I mean, it was a strange exit from what we saw, of that footage, or what everyone saw, to be honest with you. It wasn't like you saw someone pushing him out the door, but it could have just been one of those, I don't know. It's very strange on that. It seems so clear he cleared out of the LA to the Baltimore area to get away from the LA heat. So he must have known, probably, and I mean, that sounds pretty logical, right? Gail, Aspinette, Sunny, and the mods in chat. Congrats to all new members. Good night. Justice for the girls in Ellie and Rachel. Thanks, Gail. And thanks for the memberships that you gifted. Appreciate that. And have a good night. And again, tomorrow we'll be doing a live. And of course, the next day, 13th and 14th. And 14th being Valentine's Day. So, of course, that's a rough one. It's always, what a day. Like, I always forget that it's Valentine's. It's like I know Valentine's Day is coming, but I never think of Valentine's Day in the sense of, oh, husband, are we going to do something on Valentine's Day? I'm always thinking about Abby and Libby for the 14th. Just what a horrific day. I don't necessarily know that the 14th was picked out specifically as much as it was a school day. Maybe it was. Maybe it was because days, the first snow school days would have been known. So maybe, well, thing is that it happened on the 13th, which was actually the 13th, right? And the 14th, they were discovered. Tomorrow is Fat Tuesday. Punky day. Stuffed donuts. Can't wait for the donuts. Being a diabetic, I love donuts. Certain donuts, anyway. Especially crullers. There are numerous established Latino mixed communities in Baltimore and Washington, D.C. He could have crashed friends anywhere in the big region. And, like I said, going back to that comment that was above there, he could very well have been like, I don't know. My guess is that, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like he is from the whole Los Angeles-y area, somewhere in that vicinity. I feel like he is there, you know. And then whatever, took off. And then of course, ended up in Maryland, there, Baltimore, and then did another crime. But if I don't know, my guts, that's what it's feeling. Do you guys think he's from the Los Angeles area first? Yeah, it's very, like I said, hopefully, this new suspects sketch can lead to an arrest soon, and get this psychotic piece of crap off of the streets before somebody else has to become a victim to this guy. Hopefully this sketch looks so much like him that he is shitting a 10 load of bricks by seeing it. Hopefully, you know. And what's pathetic, to what's pathetic, is that there's probably somebody covering for him, right? That's allowing him to stay with them, and stuff like that. I mean, look at even in Danilo Cavalcante's and that. It's amazing what people do. Like, it fries the brain trying to understand how people would legitly take someone in, house them and whatever, hide them when they've done such a horrible crime. I just hope he isn't headed back west. There are a lot of very nice Hispanic people in my area. Hope none of them are his relatives. It'll be very interesting, to hopefully for a visual, this truly helps bring in a break for this case. Do you guys think it will? Like, do you guys feel in the very near future that he's going to be identified? Baltimore is about 45 minutes, a drive north of Washington. The two metropolises kind of merge from. Oh, one sec. I got a yawn. I thought, without looking, I looked quickly and I thought it said thanks and room and your big heart. And then I realized it was like a brain. just a quick glance, I thought it was like a pink heart. Okay. So again, chances are he came from that a side window and entered in from that way into that home. So yeah, that was quite a bit of knowledge that we didn't have listening to them talk about that. Why am I yawning all of a sudden? Oh, hi, Bossy. How are you? Seems like he was if on the run from LA crime. He would probably be laying low in Baltimore, DC area, but that after a couple of months got complacent about doing another assault. Yeah, so again, going back to the picture, like going back to here, because like the guy was saying, the police officer was saying, like they didn't even know that those culverts were there, type of thing. So they figured that, well, I'm curious as well. Another question. Do you guys think that this was a targeted attack specifically for Rachel Morin? Or do you think, why am I yawning? Hold on. Oh, Lordy. All of a sudden the yawns are, you know how a yawn is. Or do you think that it was someone that was praying that area, scoping it out, knew the area somewhat, obviously. And then whoever was the victim that came along that was going to be that victim for him, that's kind of almost like how I feel it was. I almost don't feel like it was a personal attack on Rachel Morin as much as it was a crime of opportunity. I mean, it maybe could have been, but maybe it was just a crime of opportunity because this guy's obviously got female issues and, whatever sick, twisted brain he has. Doing good. Got a lot of stuff on my plate at the moment, especially with, Libby and Abby and doing stuff and that. But yeah, and just like life things as well. Um, there's so much distance between the two. It could come from someone who traveled for work. A lot of people kind of thought that perhaps this person was in the army, and got moved over. Maybe he has relatives in that area. I would like to think that if he did, um, the guy had to be staying somewhere. He had to be somewhere. I'm sure he just wasn't popped up in a tent somewhere in Baltimore there. He had to have been staying somewhere. So again, it's why it's very okay. Okay, I get a yawn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. By bus. Um, he'd go back to Texas and LA. And this guy could be simply like that, right, Anna? Yeah, I mean, it's always curious to know. Okay, I got to turn off my camera. I can't stop yawning for some reason. Lordy, I hate that when that happens. Anyways, but yeah, it will be very curious to see what the outcome is of this, meaning like what his name is, where he's from, type of thing. Just because it is odd, like meaning, right? So in March is the attack in Los Angeles, right? Who knows what he was doing in between time? Like they said, they've gone to like 10 different states. August 5th was in the Bel Air, Hartford area in Baltimore. What is it? So out the Bel Air area in Hartford County, Baltimore, Maryland. God, there's too many names there. Um, a number of people have wondered about the Navy, if he was on a ship. And the ship went to Maryland. Both have new Navy installations. This assault seems exactly like the famous case of Chandra Levy assault in Rock Creek Park in D.C. back over 10 years ago. Different perp, but same MO. Yeah, I'd have to look that one up. Sometimes I am better at seeing a face than remembering a name sometimes. Another woman who was assaulted by the same perp as Chandra wrote an article in Washington Post about his method. Crazy. Apparently his DNA is coming up on a stream of crimes, so maybe he isn't on a continuous spree. Mm. So I was going to say that, yeah, I wonder if he has committed more crimes, but they're not attached to any sort of DNA. Perhaps, like if he's, you start thinking that he's done more than just these two. Maybe not. I mean, he doesn't seem that old. He's definitely somewhere in that 20 area. But maybe there was just no DNA collected or attached to him of another crime. But these two so far. Yeah, absolutely, Diana. Yeah, apparently there was like a hat and a water bottle. That perp sit on the trail and target a victim. Then he'd run up behind them and pass them. And then he'd suddenly stop. Okay, I gotta stop yawning. In front of them and sort of trip them up. Yeah. Just 1 second here. It's like here, YouTube's. Boom, boom. Do, 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 do. Anne or Anna, both your names are similar, but maybe I just don't pay attention. But do you guys have your own YouTube channels? That's for Anne and Anna. I'm asking that about. And sorry, just wanted to look at something here. Um, I am a writer. Well, you can just be a podcaster and read your writing on a YouTube channel. I like how you're like, LOL, nope. Why not? You guys have I think it was great brains, as somebody said above there on there. Um Oops, let me just change pictures here. So I just to recap on this. So the suspect is approximately 5'9", 160 pounds, age 20 to 30 years of age, dark hair, muscular build, and is to believed to be Hispanic in descent. Again, this is where Rachel Morin, uh, her body was found, sadly, and this is the suspect drawing that obviously they got from the individuals that lived in this home. There seemed to be multiple individuals at that home and could probably, I'm sure, provide a detailed description. I'm just amazed that if it wasn't for the Rachel Morin case, and considering it seems like that home invasion was quite severe, I'm amazed that a sketch and even to look for the story, um, I could never find, but I'm amazed that a sketch is only coming out now instead of before. But like I said, to even find the story, I'd never came across it when I was looking for it before for this particular home invasion. I'm not smart enough to have a YouTube channel. I can rudimentary, you know. And YouTube is well, it's easy to make a channel. It's not so easy to run a channel and then know all the different rules and regulations and all that stuff. That becomes quite the headache part. I know that, but if you're making donuts and cakes and you know um, things that aren't in true crime, you're pretty much going to be green all the time. Just so you know, that's when you have less of a headache. I know that the Levy case, cause always live in the D.C., Baltimore area, so no local crimes, especially ones that get national attention. Yeah, exactly. Um, I know that I didn't have time to overly watch the Harmony Montgomery trial today, so maybe I'll have time to listen to some. I listened to a little bit, but I didn't get a lot of time to listen to that too much. And Eric from the docket, I know he had sent me. Now we haven't ever really covered Gabby Petito on this channel, very little, because again, it was a big case, and a lot of other channels were following it, and I followed it for quite a long time there. Um, and he had sent me some documents that had come out today. Haven't had a chance to look at those, but if you are interested in the Gabby Petito case, there's new documents that had come out, and again, so the docket is, the YouTube channel. Obviously, you just got to put in the docket, and if you're interested in following that Gabby Petito case to know what's going on with the new documents that came out, and if you follow him on Twitter, then of course, typically he'll put those documents up on his Twitter as well. Near the center, that's cool, and near the center of our capital, an old friend from Chicago named Marilyn Camoso lives in your area, but I have never been. Yeah. Mary Linda Lee, very professional and competent with lots of backup from other Fed agency headquartered in DC area. FBI, Customs and Immigration, ATF. Sooner or later, they're going to get this guy. Honestly, yeah. You're welcome, Mustang. Yeah, like I wasn't like I was contemplating on doing a live today, and regardless, and then I see that Grizzly True Crime had, covered, like I could have covered this like or did a live a lot earlier, but I just did videos at the time, just because again tomorrow and that. But I just felt it was important to do a live, and I think that the interview room he was covering it as well. And I appreciate Copper Horse for, of course, as soon as it came out, she had basically tagged me in a Twitter, and I was just like, oh, I had to go look. I had to go right to the Hartford Police or Hartford County Police and see what they had put out there. And I'm just, I'm happy because I was wondering where a sketch was. Just talked about it again the other day, and hopefully there's some familial DNA. Do you think so, you guys? Thanks, Diana. And thanks for the gifted membership as well, to you and Gail for tonight. That helps the channel. And of course, it helps another person. So that's always great. Yeah, I just felt, like I said, I'm extremely happy that finally we don't just get a look at a side ear, that we actually get a look at a physical face. Let me go back to this, oops, here, just get a full-on view of this dude, and just praying so hard. This case hurts a lot, like any other case too, but each for their own reasons. This is a mother that had 5 children. Those 5 children have 3 different dads. So these children's life will forever be impacted. That hurts as a mother, right? As a mother to the core. How old is he? Between 20 and 30, they're saying, if you're talking about the suspect. So knowing that these children, some of them older, of course, some of them younger. There was 2 of the kids that were already living with their father. And I think that was like the 8 and 10 or something like that children. It's just so heartbreaking though. But like they're saying that, the fathers and that are making sure that the children are, doing holidays and different things together, because, well, it's just so tragic. It's just tragic, you know so that's why it's always for me about the kids, the children. The mother, obviously, her life was taken, but I instantly start thinking about, especially when there's children involved, and it their their mother is now like no longer on this planet, that they can't go to their mother to talk to be there for any graduations or any weddings, just gone, right? Because some piece of shit like this person that's before you took their life needlessly because of some sick, inner, twisted, self-serving, perverse, whatever, disgusting, despicable, you know, sick, twisted, I don't know, in his head. It's I know this is just a sketch, but it's just really hard to look at this piece of shit that's looking before us and to realize that whether it was sick, twisted, sexual fantasies, hatred towards females, um, probably more of an actual fantasy, just sick and twisted, regardless. Um, okay, let's see here. Well, I think I'm gonna go because I do have some stuff to do to work on, and it's already 8:18. Well, it's 8:18 here, guys. But I still have to work on stuff that I want to do for tomorrow. On the 13th. I think tomorrow. Yeah, I mean tomorrow. The 14th will be the Valentine's kind of like tributey thing, and well, and then tomorrow will be probably just discussing Abby and Libby and just different things, right? I kind of like to do things YOLO, spur of the moment in a lot of ways. Um, so we'll see who wants to come on the live tomorrow night and just talk about Abby and Libby and the case and, the different things and the memories or whatever it is. Um, I think Rachel went to a gym. I have wondered if the creep went to the same gym. Does he frequent gyms? Possibly. Hopefully, that's something that we'll eventually know. The perp likely didn't suddenly become a violent assaulter. I really think he's a citizen of South America country and fled to the LA from there. You can bet national LE agencies have been comparing info. You think he did some crimes over somewhere in South America there, as well, and then he fled? Again, it will be very interesting to see where this sketch takes the LE and what vital, information becomes of it. You know, yeah, that is a good point. You know, um, I know. It's like AI. Can you take this photo and generically run it across everybody, in the world, and come back with anyone that's on social media and stuff like that kind of similarities to this guy, you know? One day, advancements in technology are going to be so great that you can't even spit or shit without, you know, everything, all the information about somebody. Like I said, cameras everywhere, this, that, digital data, etc., etc., etc. And then there's those morons out there that still doesn't matter what's out there. Like some people just don't care, right? They do a crime and it's like, "Pfft, so I take my own life. So I go to prison for whatever. Some people just simply don't give a shit about or value another human being's life, you know. But anyways, James Renner, oh yeah, AI is crazy. James Renner does a true crime podcast with an AI co-host, honey. James Renner, is that guy from Delphi? Like that name? I'm associating it with that name from Delphi. Is that it? Mm. AI. You know what? I can't remember what I seen the other day. Something about AI. Something is no longer. Was it AI? Um, it was like a Roby. I don't know what it was. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. And I remember going, oh, AI is gonna might be a little bit too much. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's the guy as a bad actor from way back. It's just series that disappear in the U.S. Thing is, other national agencies may not keep records. Right, absolutely. And does Ellie think the suspect is still in the Maryland vicinity? Honestly, I doubt that he's in that vicinity. I don't think that they honestly know, you know. Um, Again, they don't know what he was doing from California to Maryland. I doubt that that guy is in Maryland or in the vicinity. He's probably so far gone a different way or across the border. Um, all I know is that he can stay out of Canada. Can definitely stay out of Canada. That would be something, eh? If he actually made it over the border over here. But um, yeah. Anyways, regardless, let's just hope and pray that because of this new information with the sketches, that something becomes hopefully soon in the near future that suspect is caught and somebody is going to see this and go that I know who that person is, and that tip is going to lead to an arrest. Anyways, you guys, we will see it tomorrow on tomorrow night's live. Again, Abby and Libby. Tomorrow will mark, of course, the 7-year mark exactly. At well, I mean, 207 is the last picture from the Snapchat that I was taking of Abigail Williams, but at the end of the day, tomorrow is the 7 years to the date, and 14th, of course, is the day that the girls' bodies were found. Um, Thank you. I'm going to go raid the fridge in about a second here. Hi, Tara. My parrot. Oh, yeah. Oh, Tara. Oh, that's so sad because I know how much our pets mean to us. And it breaks my heart just to see that you said that. Especially a cute little birdie. Aw. Thank you, Daisy. Yeah. Thank you so much for that super sticker, Daisy. Um, yeah, I'm so sorry, Tara. I mean, trust me. Um, if you're bawling like a baby, I totally get it because animals to me, like, I just will never forget when, you know, back a long time ago when one of my cats passed. Now I've had many cats throughout my life, and it was like 3 days after, and I'm still sobbing at work, whenever it's, and then, the person girl I was working with was so fucking rude enough to say, like, seriously, you're crying this much over a cat? Like, get over it. And oh, I wanted to punch her in the face so freaking bad. I was so livid that anyone would be so effing insensitive. But there's those freaking people out there that, what, like I said, they can rot in freaking HE double hockey sticks for all I care. Because animals, children, animals, you know, they're just like part of our families. And for me, like some people, like their pet dies and they're sad, for me, I still literally cannot look at golden retrievers hardly ever because, and this is from 10 years ago, December 7th, 2012, when Bear, our dog, our golden retriever, was killed, and Bear was killed right in front of me, right? Um, and to this date, I will still well up with tears because I miss that doggy so much. So I am so, so sorry to anyone that loses their pets because I know how much to us animal lovers that they mean a ton. And I'm so, so sorry, Tara, that your parrot passed away tonight. And I'm so, so sorry for your heartbreaking right now. I know that life, is a circle and all that bullshit that goes with it. Right? It's so heartbreaking. Tara, let me just ask you quickly. How long did you have your parrot for? Let's give Tara a little few moments, you guys, to give her some love, to give her some love and some prayers tonight. She was beautiful and so sweet. So sorry, Tara. I bet he was a great little friend. 10 years, 10 years, right? 10 years. Exactly. Mhm. Now, is that an expected life for your parrot, Tara? Is like, or was there some health issues going on? She went to the vet to get her nails and beak trim, and I left with her in a box. Really? Bossy says sending you healing energy. Parrots live for many years. Tara, of course not. But remember, she wouldn't want you to be sad. No. Gotta go through the grieving process. Absolutely. So explain that if you don't mind. So you go take the parrot. What I'm not sure what the name was. If you want to say the name of your parrot, what was your friend? Oh, there you go, right there, Cian. If I may ask, being too painful to type. She should have lived to 70. Yeah. So what happened? You go take your parrot to have a manicure basically done, beak cleaning. Lola. Aw. Like Barry Manilow, Lola. Yeah, so like if you don't mind, um, I know, Lola. If you don't mind, how did it go from taking your pet to get manicure and beak appeared, or to all of a sudden taking your parrot home in a box? It's so hard. I mean, I absolutely get it. Like I said, I am the biggest ball baby when it comes to animals. You know, they were holding and trimming Lola and started to gasp for air. Oh, Sunny, Mr. Electric, and hello. Yeah, there we go. Hi, we're actually just about to get off now, Mr. Electric. We were talking about, of course, the Rachel Morin case. You might have to hit the replay. Right now, we're just talking about Tara. Tara just lost her parrot tonight after 10 years. So they took her back to try to CPR, but were unsuccessful. I'm just so. Had she had that done before and was fine? Or did she have basically an anxiety, like from, you know, imagine that though, eh? Like so it's not like, taking your animal because you know that they're having some health problems, or you go to find out you're taking them in for like basically a manicure and a pedicure, and and then all of a sudden your parrot, is gasping for breath like it had basically heart stops. Okay, well, my mouse decided it's going to stop working, I guess. I guess the battery probably died. Can't move my mouse. Huh. Do I have any batteries around? Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to move. Okay, it's probably going to die soon, but I guess I'm going to have to get and find a battery somewhere. Okay. Yeah. Tara, I'm so sorry. Poor thing, Lola. They took her in the back to get CPR, was unsuccessful. It's been done. I guess after Googling it, it can happen. Well, now, Tara, just to ask you, was that your only bird, or do you have a couple other birds, or another bird? Um, and the reason I ask that is because, like most times in my life, I've always had two cats, and I couldn't, when one goes, I always feel so bad for the other one because I feel like that they know, of course, something is different, just like humans, and that they know something's like wrong because that, you know, that bird or cat or whatever's not there anymore. I'm going to take off. Thanks, Lisa. And again, thanks to Diana for gifting you that membership. It's such a shock, but it happens. The little heart can just be vulnerable without anyone knowing it. Aw. Yeah. All animals are family, you know? Like I said, when I'm a pet owner, I'm a pet owner. It's my job, you know. And as much as I want to kick that one cat out of the house, that little pissies all over the place on the comforters all the time, Bambi cakes, little psycho, but, you know, I could never do that. I couldn't. I couldn't make people get rid of that dirty cat. Can't. Mm-mm. I can't do that to an animal myself. Think about Lola flying happily, free as a bird. Huh. She was my only. We had a male, but a foster dog attacked him. Oh, um, we no longer foster due to it happening. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, each to your own how you deal with something. You know, it's kind of one of those things that each to their own, because I know when my husband got so I had two cats, Blue and Chrissy. Chrissy was like a Pepe Le Pew bitch. Um, when my husband came over from England, Blue, and for some strange reason, it's almost like Blue. I don't know what was going on. Blue was about 16, you know, years old, 17, 16, 17. And all of a sudden, Blue, it's almost, I always felt like Blue just, you know, put a little backpack together and was like, screw you. You know, there's somebody new in the house. But it was so weird. And then my husband, but he wasn't my husband at the time because they just come over from England. He had saw Blue underneath the vehicle, and then Blue just kind of made this sound, and then that was Blue. Could never find Blue. Spent a couple days trying to search the area looking for Blue. This is in White Court. Couldn't find Blue. Anyways, we had Chrissy. And we had Chrissy for another couple years or a year or something, and then Chrissy ended up getting cancer in her jaw, and it was, you know, so sad. But I swore I wasn't going to have any more cats because I was tired of cleaning up pissies and throw ups and all these things, and I've had animals for so long. I just needed a break. You know, I didn't want to start, you know, just it was the hairballs all the time and stuff like that. And like I said, one was a little pissy cat. But anyways, so prior to Chrissy dying, a couple weeks before, we were in PetSmart in Lloydminster, and my husband sees this cat named Bambi, and Bambi is, of course, is whatever multicolored little wolfy kind of cat with the white around the eyes. And my husband fell in love with this cat, and it was so small and so cute. But I was like, I don't want any more cats. I want to take a break. But anyways, being a female, you know we do this. Okay, so do you want to get this cat? And sure as shit, right, we get the cat. And it was probably within a month that Chrissy ended up dying. Now, when Chrissy died, Tara, um, you know, and I normally am not a person to do this, but so we had this little Bambi cat. And as soon as Chrissy, once we put her down, because she was just suffering at this point, she couldn't drink, she couldn't do anything anymore. Anyways, as soon as we left that veterinary place, we drove. I said, take me to the SPCA. And I always said if I had a girl, I would name my girl Montana. Everyone that watches me would know I have one child, and his name is Matt. And Matty Bratty is what he is. But anyways, so as soon as we left, I said, take me to the SPCA. Because now if we had one, well, you know what? Gonna adopt another one. Okay. So walk in there, sure as shit, there's this cat named Montana, right? Now I was just like, that's it. And of course, that's how we have Montana and Bambi. So for me, it was one of those things, you know, never lose the memory of the pets you have, but we can give somebody else a home or another pet home. So that's what I chose to do. As much as I was so sad that right there that day that Chrissy had left us, again, I turned around and gave another cat a beautiful home, and those two cats are spoiled and love them to pieces. And anyway, so whatever you decide to do on that, bless you. And I'm so sorry for this day. And I'm so glad that hopefully coming in here helped you take your mind off it a little bit and to come for some love and support from the channel. And let's see. The nurse told us to take the hospital gown for my Phil. Oh, died into his dog so he would understand. Poor baby sniffed it and just howled. There's probably something I missed above, perhaps. Or maybe I didn't on there. Sorry. Heartbreaking. I'm going to take off. Yes, good night. Think about it, Lilifying. Okay, we did that. Okay. So that's where that one came in on there. So let me read that again because I don't feel like I understood that. The nurse told us to take the hospital gown my Phil died in to his dog so he would understand. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. That's very sad. Tara, after a while, they're likely another parrot out there just looking for well, exactly. Right? That's just it. I know, but you have to, again, certain, like with Bear, with that mother golden retriever, I could never at that moment, like, there's like Bear, I literally watched Bear get killed in front of a vehicle. I literally thought I saw his body flying up in the air, come to realize he was smacked dead on. Anyways, I don't like to think about that. Whereas in Chrissy's case, I was just like, I was ready. I was just like, you know what? Didn't plan for it. I was just like, you know what? Let's just go. Let's get another one. You know what? The thing is, animals are so freaking healing. They're so good for the soul. Do you know? People can really suck. People can really suck a lot. But animals, most of them that aren't little shit animals that want to bite you and stuff. But, animals are just loving and caring. And they just make you feel comfort, type of thing. I bought a new car, and before making the first payment, a lady hit me head on. We had to cancel vacation because of the accident, and now this. I just need a break. Absolutely, Tara. I absolutely. Sometimes life can really fucking suck, can it? And it's okay to say that because it really can at times. I know we know life can't be perfect, but sometimes when it does rain, it does pour. That's how I was feeling many times last year, especially. It just feels like it just never ending sometimes. And I just look at them like, why? Okay, what reason? Tara, for sure, the statisticians, okay, say that random events cluster. It's a real thing. Yeah. Oh, your father-in-law. Yeah. Dogs are so sensitive to their human companions. Pets, like I said, pets just love you. No, no. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck?
What the heck? Hey.
I was just literally like, I should have been off about 25 minutes ago. And then Tara was saying how she lost her pet parrot tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, really. And that she had taken her pet to get like a little manicure pedicure thing and the beak and whatever. And during the time today that she took him, basically he lost air, like gas for air, and basically keeled over, like, and had a heart attack.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Tara.
Yeah. So, and then she was just saying that about this vacation, that she had just bought a new car before making the first payment. A lady hit me head on. We had to cancel vacation because of this accident, and now this. I just need a break. When it rains, it pours.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know. And what the heck? I figured you were going to use some excuse going, because I sent you a message and I figured you'd be
I
like,
just saw it.
Yeah, like I was sleeping. I was just relaxed in bed, and I was literally just about to get right off again. But anyways, say hi to everyone. I'm
Hey,
gonna
everyone.
go quickly go to the washroom if you don't mind,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
I'll just come back.
Yeah, sorry I came in on such a sad note, but
That's it.
I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Let's see who's all here tonight. There's like what 20 people here.
It's like, yeah, 21, and this
Sunny,
is
go
our.
to the bathroom.
Okay, fine.
Hey, Ann. Hi, Diana. Hey, Tara. Hi, Bossy. How is everyone tonight? Unindicted co-conspirator. That sounds full of corruption. So what has Sunny been talking about? I guess Rachel Morin. I saw the update, but I haven't looked at it too in depth because I worked all day. I'm good, Diana. My sty is finally getting better. It's still a little swollen, but it's definitely on the road to recovery. Daisy is here listening while she paints. Daisy, are you painting me a portrait or are you painting a room? So either way, I hope your husband's feeling better, and I hope you're doing well. Mustang, hey Mustang. Mustang says, "Hey Mr. Electric, hey Mr. Electric." The sketch. Good, your eye is better, teabag brother. One of the few times it's okay to say that. Oh, and Anne, you know I watched the Super Bowl. And I was really, really bored with it until like the very end. But I was happy with the way that it turned out. I know not everyone here is a Taylor Swift fan, but I kind of geeked out. Oh, and I'll show you guys. Look what my friend made me. I went to her house to watch the Super Bowl game, and she made me a shirt. It says Swift 87, and it has like the Kansas City thing. So I thought that was sweet. She has like one of those cricket machines, and so she made me a t-shirt.
That was nice of her.
Yeah, did you see it, Sunny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I probably won't wear it because they'll probably break up before next season, but either way.
I know I shouldn't be, but I'm just stuffing a piece of food down my throat right now because I got hungry.
So last time I talked to Sunny today, Sunny goes, "Not doing a live tonight. We'll do a live for Delphi tomorrow night and Wednesday." And I said, "Okay, sounds good." And then I just opened my messages and she goes, "Doing a Rachel Morin live, regular time." So
Yeah,
I apologize that I show up an hour and 30 minutes late.
I decided that I was going to get off my butt because I had made spaghetti and meatballs for dinner and I was working on stuff and I thought I remember waking up from this harsh dream and I was like, I'm just going to go shower. And then as I'm about to go shower, I'm like, maybe I will do a Rachel Morin live tonight. Okay, well, just let Adam know I am. And if he sees it, he sees it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I just felt like I had to, So I figured once I'm showered and more awake and alert, you know how it is when you don't shower.
It's amazing the difference that can make, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Even though you're like, oh, I won't, it won't even refresh me. And then you take one, you're like, okay, I can walk back to the computer now.
I am totally a night owl through and through. If I could do lives at 1 o'clock and 12 o'clock at night, I'd do them in a heartbeat. I didn't watch. I forgot. I didn't watch. Who won the Super Bowl?
The Kansas City Chiefs. So Taylor's team.
Oh, they did win? Oh, yeah. Okay.
They won in overtime. But again, it was really boring. Like I said, until the end. And I thought the halftime show was I thought it was really bad. So that was just my opinion. I'm sure some people liked it.
Look at Mr. Eclectic. Oh yeah, my mouse is dying or something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
even the commercials of the Super Bowl I didn't think were that great. I thought the Dunkin' Donuts one with Ben Affleck and J Lo and um, Matt Damon was funny, but for the most part they were all kind of boring.
mm, is that supposed to be the big part of it? Is
Right.
there
Well, they pay. I mean, they pay like millions and millions and millions of dollars for 30, 45 seconds.
absolutely. Um, so quickly, so going back to Rachel Morin here.
Right.
Um,
So I saw the update, but I didn't look at it in depth. So who released the sketch? Was that
right, Harford County
okay?
Police. Yeah. So they released it, and then we listened to that video that I sent you as well.
Yeah.
And in there, they talk a lot more in depthly into the Los Angeles home and how there was multiple people that were in that house that were trying to get him out.
Really?
Yeah, that there was a couple younger people hurt and stuff. Um, but yeah, so basically saying that he seemed to get into the place not through the front, so probably obviously through a side window there. um, didn't realize there were so many people in the house. He wasn't invited there, and they didn't know who he was. And
Really?
yeah, I know.
Because it's hard to, I guess, the little like half a second context that we have in it. I
Right.
mean, it looks like he's leaving so casually that I assumed that whoever the
Invited
victim
him.
at home was invited him there, and whatever happened.
Yeah, same.
But well, I'm surprised by that. So I'll have to go back and watch that video.
Yeah. Yeah, so they just, like I said, we're talking about that, about like that, like there was multiple, like I said, people in there, and then probably anyways, one of them ended up getting him out. I mean, they did say it was a young boy that
Oh,
was at
really?
the door, you know.
Okay.
But anyways, so he leaves, remember, with his shirt off and his shoes in his hand. So
Right.
it's like,
Well, so the victimology there, I'm curious, like who the target in that home was.
yes.
And if they have, if the victimology
Well,
tracks with Rachel, because a young boy, that would not seem to be the same kind of victim profile.
yeah. Well, the
But,
thing was, is like they kind of said, like, had there not been so many people in the house, unexpectedly to him, that the same tragedy probably would have happened in that LA home, had there not been, in like so many people in there that were um, getting hurt by him and trying to get him out of the home, um, or else that person probably would have met the same fate as
right.
Rachel Morin. So like they said, like they don't know if he's been to 10 different states. Uh, Again, I'm just happy because you remember how, I brought it up a few times, like, where the frick is the sketch? Like,
Right.
hello, where's the sketch? And then finally, you know, like I just brought that up on a live that I just did the other day, remember? Like
Right.
last week, a few days ago. And then all of a sudden,
Here,
so
they didn't let us down. They gave us the old bridge guy and the young bridge guy.
yeah. And this is obviously to me the hat that they like. This would
Right.
be the exact same hat that they would have taken the DNA from, that they put on his head to show like this is the hat that was on him. And this is what we collected DNA from. They said that in a water bottle. Like they didn't talk about the water bottle and thing, but
Okay,
that
good.
was,
So
so
it wasn't. I mean, because when they said DNA, I assumed it might have been like a bodily fluid. So it was off the hat and the water bottle. Okay.
mhm. So I mean, I hope because they said like they said that he didn't go through the front door, that he came in through a different way, which they're not going to say. But to me, I showed the overview. There's only really two
Right.
windows on the side, so that's probably where he came in from. Was the window, one of the two windows on the side there, considering it's like a duplexy
Right.
thing, but those two windows would, so there's probably, who knows, maybe he scoped out the house as well.
And that's what I'm thinking. Because I mean, a random house like that, there's got to be clues as to why he was in that area in the first place, and
Yeah.
what would have made him pick that house, and then also what made him end up in Maryland and on that trail that day.
Right. 6 months later, right?
Which makes it even more bizarre to me that yet this guy is still a phantom
Yeah.
to everyone.
Well, hopefully now he won't be.
Oh, I mean, that guy. I mean, I'm glad there's a sketch, but it looks pretty generic.
As an artist confirmation. Well, let me put it this way. Um, Del- let's not even talk about Delphi today, to be honest with those sketches. I mean, come on. You have a very defined one, and then you have this boy that's 20 years old with virtually nothing, But this at least is a good computer generated type sketch.
Yeah.
And there's enough people that saw him that were in that home that I'm sure they compiled a nice good sketch. But hopefully, instead of seeing the side ear, um, hopefully someone will recognize that hat, and
Right.
recognize this person.
Those
And
ears are pretty distinctive as well.
well, they're a little bit like almost like little flopper dumbos coming off, a little bit. But do you feel, Adam, that he's still in the United States, or do you think that he hopped the border? Or do you think that he even hopped the border in the first place to come into the States
No
because he did a
idea.
crime over there, perhaps?
I mean, my first thought when it all happened was, like what would make someone go from LA to Maryland? And, I was thinking, it either would have to be like some sort of family thing or maybe military. But military, they'd have his DNA on file. So that it's
Right.
hard, I mean, I guess he could be like, an illegal immigrant, but I don't really have any reason to think that so far other than the fact that he's Hispanic.
Right. It's too bad there wasn't any tats to help aid in all of this, unless someone that was because if someone was in that house that saw a tat, they would have showed a picture of a tat. If someone could have remembered that there was a tat maybe on the side that we weren't seeing, perhaps.
Right.
But
and he had his cell phone on him, so I'm like, I assume they probably tried to locate the cell phones that were in the area of that house in Los Angeles, because I remember when you could see his phone clearly lit up in his pocket there.
Nam Firm says, now that we've talked, I'm kind of thinking he is in the US, but he's just blended in to another large urban area like New York or Miami or Chicago, like has ID aliases. Probably. It's these type of people just make me puke. Like I said, Rachel Morin. Luckily, no deaths in the Los Angeles one, but Rachel Morin and the kids and the 5 children, now that are without their mother. But just hoping that this will bring on some new leads. And I know it can look like a lot of people, but
Right.
tip is better than no tip.
Right. Because I mean, this guy has evaded authorities by dumb luck because he's not a careful criminal.
No, he's obviously not leaving.
You don't take the risk of going into a house where you don't know how many people are in there. You don't know the situation. You don't know what's going to happen. He felt confident enough to go into that house in Los Angeles with whatever he had in mind to do. And the same with Rachel. I mean, it was broad daylight on a popular running trail, and he was brazen enough to be able to attack her, do what he did, and take her life. Potentially when anyone could have come along at any time, and left DNA at both scenes. So this guy's not trying to not get caught very hard. I would say, the fact that he's not been caught is dumb luck.
What do you think about the whole familial DNA? Like, do you think that they're doing that? Like, they would have to be, you would think.
I would assume they've have tried. Different ethnicities, it can be a little bit more difficult sometimes because you have to have a data, a pool of participants that could potentially match, and some Hispanic people, the database is not as large. Same with African American people, it's not as large.
Right.
So I assume they've tried that.
I just don't know how long exactly that takes.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
not 6 months. I
it
mean,
took her-
remember the Golden State, what's her name with the Golden State Killer? I think she found it in like a matter of hours or days
yeah.
when she really started to look into it
Well,
and
because
narrowed it down.
yeah, like, so I think I said earlier. Well, I know I said earlier that I'm amazed considering the violence that seemed to be of this home invasion. That first of all, I could not find the story on it when I looked for it when this first came up about this dude that happened in Los Angeles. But I also wonder why maybe perhaps the sketch wasn't released, um, considering they seem to have. So obviously, once the Rachel Morin case kicks in, then all of a sudden that house, the attachment becomes somehow more important now to
Right.
do up a sketch. But I would think that it should have been important enough, but I guess not, because I know everyone always says Los Angeles. I mean, crimes are a dime a dozen every minute, every second, every hour. There's something going on over there. But, but anyways, it took for the Rachel Morin case to attach for this to happen, you know,
Right.
which in my head, I'm like, why didn't it happen already? There should have been a sketch, you know? It just, I don't know. It always makes me feel like one case wasn't as important until this case
Well,
came along.
I mean, it makes sense that I mean, any home invasion is going to be sad, but it doesn't rise to the level of throwing every asset they have at it.
Obviously not.
Like as opposed to like with what happened to Rachel. In a perfect world, of course, they would have
Right.
used their assets to figure out who he was before he went across the country and killed Rachel. But I get the limitations of law enforcement. Like I get that like they don't have the resources to do that with every single case. I mean, look, we in the United States. I mean, some states have a year-long backlog of SA kits that are just waiting to even be processed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, I just hope that this new sketch, it's just nice to have a facial of, hopefully, like I said, according to Carter, a sketch is a sketch. It's not a picture.
Yeah.
But this looks like, it has some really good starting point to hopefully bring in some new tips and leads to, especially with the hat.
Yeah.
I
And I'm
mean,
wondering, I mean, both of his crimes that we know of are so brazen that I'd be surprised if there wasn't something prior to this or in between or after this that didn't rise to the level of someone being killed, that he didn't leave DNA yet or something. So I mean, it's just those are gutsy crimes.
yeah.
Dumb but gutsy.
But well, yeah. Just basically, he's going to do it again. If he's
If he
not
hasn't
caught
already.
soon, he's going to do it again. And maybe he's like, "Oh damn, I left my hat there. Oh damn, I did this." Maybe, hopefully, some other stupid crime that he does. But
And if he did cross the border, it's even more likely that he may have done it since.
Or he could have done it again, like I said before, coming across the border in the first place and left for that, like a Daniel Cavalcante, basically. Daniel Cavalcante, commits a crime, leaves, heads over, and starts popping around different countries there, and then pops over to the United States. Comes and commits more crimes, and it will be very interesting if, and to me, it's just a matter of time.
Somebody knows who this guy is.
Yeah.
Somebody knows after seeing that video in Los Angeles that someone they know looks just like that guy, was in LA and then went to Maryland. Someone knows who he is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like I said, hopefully with this picture and then the hat that he was obviously wearing is going to make a difference to somebody that might not have tipped in, but they kind of had a feeling maybe about somebody or something like that. hopefully, I mean, because we all know that there's people out there that are fast on the button to tip in things, and there's other people that just don't want to be part of anything, that don't do it, right? There's all those different types of personalities out there. So hopefully,
Right.
with this phase, with that hat, that somebody tips in something. I feel like something's going to happen soon in this case myself.
Of course, we said that the first week that after Rachel was killed, but I honestly
Well,
thought that this was going to get solved right away.
you're
And
right.
it
And then
didn't happen.
there's a right. There's a $35,000 reward that may help. Absolutely. Right. With this, the face and the hat, there's going to be someone that, wants to claim this reward. Um, and then there's those people out there that go, well, I'd never get the reward anyway. They don't give out rewards. Da, 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 da. But what was I going to say? Oh, do you, so do you think that Rachel Morin was the target, or do you think, because, okay, so they had said that they feel like in the Facebook post, that they feel like it could have been in the days for, or in the area for days, that he knew this area, because even they didn't know about that culvert kind of being there, but he seemed to know that this culvert was there. Do you think it was a Rachel Morin a personal attack, or that he had been watching the trail and basically kind of like what could have happened in Delphi, that the opportunity came along, and that the opportunity was there, that it happened to be Rachel Morin?
I always assumed that Rachel was a crime of opportunity, given that we assumed he used a large rock. So,
Mhm.
I mean, to me that shows that he
Yeah.
reacted impulsively to something and used something that was at his disposal, not something that he brought. Like where Bridge Guy came prepared with
Right.
knife and a firearm.
Right.
For me, the fact that this guy used a rock made me think that it was a crime of opportunity. But
I'm thinking
Rachel
so.
did frequent those trails, and so he may have very well came across her when she was on the trails on a previous day, and maybe started stalking her
Hmm.
and just kind of waited for his opportunity. But I never really thought that Rachel was stalked or targeted prior to that day. But maybe,
Well,
I mean,
if
because
they
if
would have,
he had to have figured he had to have had a target in that house in Los Angeles.
you know,
So that
yeah, but
points towards the
again,
MO
right.
of him following someone.
I mean, Rachel Morin, he could have, seen her at the gym, he could have
Right.
followed her.
Remember, she ran on those trails almost every day. They said.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Same time they said people would see her always on those trails every day and stuff like that. Um, had they said, it wouldn't have shocked me at the start if they came across saying that this was somebody that she'd been talking to off of some sort of dating app,
Right.
or Facebook or something. But because they came up with nothing with that, like ego,
And they ruled it out pretty quick.
yeah, and the boyfriend,
Yeah.
and so I think it was perhaps maybe more of a crime of opportunity for him.
Right.
And like you said, right? I mean,
I just want to know if he came across her that day or if
right.
he encountered her like
Well,
the previous day and just
see,
kind
I
of
don't.
waited for the
Well,
right.
what do you think? Like, because what do you think? Because typically, if somebody plans on taking another person's life, they're going to bring a weapon or something,
Right. Like Delphi.
But like this case, like you said, like she was smashed with a rock.
Right.
So it that he went out there that day, and then something in his brain, said that today's going to be the day, and he, just basically, like I said, you know what I mean? Because
And did that culvert kind of become like I think with Delphi with Bridge Guy, I'm not so sure that that he knew it was going to be Libby and Abby, or if he knew what he wanted to do and waited for someone to go into, like they say, a web in the south end of that bridge, because bridge guy was familiar with the trails in Delphi, knew that once someone got to that south end of the bridge, they were cornered, and he could then do what he wanted.
Yeah.
Did this guy somehow, kind of like fixate on that culvert area, and once Rachel kind of entered his web, he struck. But again, why didn't he have a weapon? Because he just used what was at his disposal.
Yeah. Anne Vroom was talking about this earlier, but do you know of the Chandra Levy case?
Yeah, she was the Washington intern, I believe. Back, it was at the 90s. It's been years since I can see her face though. Really beautiful young lady with dark hair.
Yeah, I think it was in the 90s. In 2010, Guan Deek or whatever says once convicted of her killing, he was sentenced to 60 years, and it said 15 years later. So, well, let's see, Chandra Levy. May 2001 was an American intern at the Federal Bureau of Prisons in Washington. Okay, and Imgar, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I remember that there was something about a politician that she worked for, or that was a suspect in her case for a while, but had nothing to do with it. But I'd have to refresh myself on Chandra Levy's case. It's been a while.
It's one of those ones that I was just kind of looking at it, and the face is definitely familiar.
Right. When it happened around the time that the Adnan Syed case happened in Baltimore, Maryland, so close by as well. And both of them were in a park, I remember.
Yeah. Well, there's obviously something that brought him to that area, whether he lived there or not. Sorry, that's where his bosses. If the culvert isn't well known, then maybe he's from there and visiting LA. Well, exactly. He could be from that area. Like he could be from the Baltimore area. That's what they don't know. Is he from the East Coast or West Coast? Which state is he actually from? But something brought him to that area regardless. I would think that if family was around there, that obviously they would know if all of a sudden.
Is he from Los Angeles, got spooked after what happened, in LA, and, left the area and came to Maryland? Or is he from Maryland, went to LA for whatever reason that happened, and he decided to, hightail it back to the East Coast, rather than get caught for what he did in that house in LA? And then,
and how is he traveling? Is it by car, by bus, by, But you would think that, that's what I'm saying. So, meaning if they think that he was kind of maybe there for days, kind of looking at the area, like I said, I'm sure he didn't just pop up a tent somewhere. He's probably staying with somebody. There's probably someone, whether he's from the area or not, was probably staying somewhere, whether it was a hotel, whether it was a family member's friend's house or something that obviously is in that area.
Sorry.
Why he's there, but you would think though that, if my relative was there and then all of a sudden poof, and then all of a sudden there's this murder thing and whatever. Well, like I said, I'm just hoping with this face on look that now someone's going to be like, oh shit, that's my kid or that's my friend.
And I would assume with, having a better idea of what he looks like, and, the time, they know when Rachel was killed. They know,
oh, it's 11/12.
The track that she ran. I mean, I know there probably aren't cameras all in that trail, but because I remember they were talking about installing them. I don't think they ever did though.
No, they haven't yet.
But I'm sure they had to have gone back and reviewed any surveillance footage anywhere around that trail that day. Of anyone going towards the trail, coming away from the trail, traffic lights, all of that. So.
Getting.
It's really surprising that they don't really have any lead. I remember a few weeks after that Rachel was killed, they investigators went to Chicago and were like
Yeah, I was
investigating.
just literally gonna say that actually.
So I'm like, I'm curious if that just ended up to be a false lead, or if
Well, that was because of whoever was in the house, they had said. Whoever else was in the home. I
they
remember
pointed
that.
them towards Chicago.
Yeah. But there were some people in the home that had led them to kind of like the Chicago area. That were in the home. And like, so I always found it strange that we didn't seem to have a name. So who knows exactly, but I mean, it was because of like how it was said that there was other people in the home. And obviously to me, then it's kind of like, they were trying to track down these people to see who this person was, meaning the suspect that's before us. But I mean, if he was just simply a freaking, like I said, just there for the purpose of a home invasion to, uh, and, you know, actually assault someone and then potentially, again, someone, having their life taken, but because of these other people being there, that's why it didn't happen that way. Um, so yeah, so I don't, that part confuses me too, because they talked about multiple people being in the home and that's how they got him out, you know? So I don't
So
know if it was like, because it's like I said, a couple children got hurt. I mean, you can go listen to that
I
thing,
don't know.
you know. Mm. Well, the crime though would have to make them take his DNA. Um, if he does commit another crime, that it would have to be something where, it wouldn't be just stealing a candy bar or something from a store. It'd have to be
Right.
something significant where they would take his DNA.
Right. He
And then,
probably got pulled over for speeding 3 or 4 times in Indiana.
I mean, how
Just
many? Yeah,
like Brian Koberger.
because how many times sometimes does a crime happen and it doesn't come back as a hit back and stuff like that, you know like, even though the person committed crimes, just really depends on how up to date certain police stations and that how they enter the information.
Well, like just like I said, I mean, there are police departments all across the country that have untested SA kits that go back a year even, because they just don't have the lab resources or whatever to process them faster. They say.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
mean, his DNA could literally be sitting in a
Somewhere
SA
else.
kit
Yeah.
anywhere in the country, that could then link these all together, and
Yeah.
it just hasn't been tested yet.
Yeah.
Because, like I
And
said, he clearly doesn't mind leaving his DNA behind.
nope. Nope. I see Deb just put out a video not too long ago here. 7 years is too long. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go over to Deb's channel and check out that video. Not sure if she's almost reached her hours now. Every little bit helps. She probably needs just a little bit more, I'm assuming. And yeah, that is a good point. But other than that, Adam, I'm going to call it a night. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday as well, with, of course, Libby and Abby and the 7 years anniversary for them. And yeah, okay. So thank you guys. Thank you, Gail,
Yeah, thank you.
for the 2 gifted memberships. And thank you to Diana S. as well for gifting someone a membership tonight. And Daisy Dukes for the $1.99 super chat or sticker.
Thank you.
I think it was.
Sonny, what are your predictions as far as, sadly tomorrow's the 13th, that, of course it's a horrible day, but given the significance of dates with this, with, Delphi, I wouldn't at all be surprised if some crazy wild thing doesn't happen like tomorrow, like, just
Yeah.
because it seems to be the way this case like tracks,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we're gonna wake up to some like crazy court filings and all sorts of nonsense, or
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we had that one today from Delphi.
just that little one. But I mean, you know how things are. It's like, oh, 213, time to
I know.
have the S hit the fan.
Right. We'll see. Well, we'll see how tomorrow plays out, I suppose, eh? Because that's typically a lot of times how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah,
All right. Well, we'll let everyone go.
we can do it. 300 hours minus 40 or 50 now, probably. But anyways, yeah, go help Deb out, you guys. Go watch her video there. It's for Abby and Libby, obviously, because it said 7 long years. So go check that out on the channel. Anyways, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night as well with the Delphi. Okay, guys? So take care, and thanks again. Done in a second. And sorry. And Tara, prayers about your parrot tonight. Biggest hugs and kisses. And our thoughts are with you. So sorry about that. I just had to get that in there before we left.
A Norfolk night, the world is cold. We stand surrounded, we are not alone.